We have a new promo card that just hit the game, Alolan Grimer, and it is so much better for the Alolan Muck deck. It is incredible. So the old card, 70 HP, and it took 2 energy to do 30 damage. The new card, still 70 HP, but you only need 1 energy to do not damage, but instead poison your opponents. And this combos so well with Alolan Muck. Let's take a look at Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck is a wall of text, but all of this just basically says it will inflict a status condition onto your opponent for 3 energy, as well as do 80 damage, and it will pick a status condition that they do not yet have. So if they are already poisoned, it will pick a new one: burn, paralyze, sleep, confusion. A few of those are obviously extremely powerful. Burn can put you in positions where you get a lot of damage all at once and KO your opponents, whereas sleep or paralyze, even confusion, could stop your opponents from making a key play. Paralyzed specifically, they basically can't do anything. But funny enough, they can still throw water shurikens as Greninja. Why? I don't know. I was trying a bunch of different versions of Alolan Muck, and I really do think that the best version of this new Alolan Muck with the promo Grimer is pairing it with Clodsire. I think that is the strongest possible thing you can do. While I do think there are a couple cool options that you can pair with this, I do think this is the best. So let's talk about the deck that we're looking at, and then I'll tell you about some options that I think are decent, but overall not consistent enough. The deck we are looking at has 2 Paladin Whoopers, 2 Alolan Grimers, Clodsires, Mucks, a couple of Pokeballs, a couple of Poison Barbs, of course, Professors, Tsareena, Cyrus, Iono, Leaf. Leaf, I think, is very, very good for this deck, especially early. Mars, and Guzma. I think the big thing with this is you are almost guaranteeing, that they are going to be poisoned. There are a few exceptions to this, of course. We ran into a Comfey deck that we happened to beat somehow. We ran into an Arceus deck that we happened to lose to somehow. But in general, with multiple poison barbs, with both Paldean Whooper and Alolan Grimer applying poison, this gives you the highest likelihood to move into a card and either apply a new status condition with Muck or huge damage with Clodsire EX, right? I do think this is the best version. Now, I do think there are a couple other options that are really cool. Let me talk to you about some of those cards here. First is the new Alolan Marowak card. I thought this would work pretty well because you need Alolan Muck and Alolan Marowak to get a lot of energy on them before they fight. So you could feasibly see yourself putting energy on Muck and then at the same time putting Kiawe on Alolan Marowak. If Alolan Marowak hits, it's going to do damage. It's going to apply a burn. That way, when you move in with your Muck, you could apply a different status condition. I just think in general, unfortunately, Alolan Marowak is really inconsistent, and while this strategy is cool and will lead to some really fun games, I don't think you're going to get a ton of wins in a row with it. The next card I tried is the new promo Toucanon, and this was actually really fun. The nice thing about this is 80 damage for 2 colorless energy and a 50-50 to apply burn. So this kind of works with the same thing that Alolan Marowak is bringing, but you don't have that annoying situation where you deal no damage. Instead, you will definitely deal 80 damage, and you might apply a burn. I thought this was pretty decent when I tried it, but Alolan Muck is really energy hungry, and even the 2 energy I was putting on Toucanon made it quite difficult to get your combo all together. We did have some really good games with it though. Then there are a few other cards I tried that I think do have some viability. One is going to be Hypno. I think Hypno is a fun way to play this. The cool thing about playing Hypno is if you put Hypno on your bench, obviously you're not powering it at all. You have a 50-50 shot of putting your opponent to sleep, which means they might not get to attack on their turn, which is huge. And if you were hitting with Muck, you are applying another status condition. One of the annoying things about this is you could apply a status condition that overwrites sleep. So if you're putting poison or burn on your opponents, you can't overwrite those status conditions. You could put burn if they already have poison, or poison if they already have burn. But if your opponent is already asleep, you could apply confusion and wake them up from being asleep. It feels like this is not going to happen all the time, but it's actually a really unfortunate thing that can happen with this setup. And I do think because of that, And just because that it takes a long time to get a lot of this online, it's probably not super ideal, but a really fun option. The next card I attempted to pair with it was Grafaiai. I think Grafaiai definitely has some good pairings with this. Poison Coating allows you to apply poison to that active spot, and then you will apply another status condition and you will not overwrite poison. I still thought I was getting more consistent poisons with everything I had in the Paldean Wooper and Clodsire deck, so I didn't really feel like I needed this, but it was a cool idea. I also tried the Wigglytuff from Shining Revelry, which was fun. It's colorless. It allows you to heal the active spot. This had some really exciting games. I'll probably include one in this video, but in general, I do think they all pale in comparison to Clodsire and Muck. That, I think, is the best version of this using the new promo card. Enjoy some games, everybody. All right, we're going second. We start with Wooper into a dark deck. Let's see what kind of dark deck they are. We got the Giratina, probably a Giratina Darkrai then. Luckily, we have a lot of ways to poison our opponents. Poison jab here does damage and poisons. And Giratina, it's tough to get it out of the active without a leaf, so we might get a little poison damage here. Rocky Helm. That's okay. We'll go ahead and take some damage. That's fine by us. Clodsire, not bad. Not a bad pickup. This is going to give us Alolan Muck. Excuse me, Alolan Grimer. My apologies. Professors. Grabs us Iono and Muck. I think I could retreat into Grimer here, but I'm just going to start this and go for it. It's also weak to us, so it takes a little extra damage. If they retreat, they could KO this thing in an annoying way. We still have 30 HP, though, so it doesn't go down to Nightmare Aura from Darkrai. Let's see what they do. Professors, grabs them. Pokeball. Alright, we're going to do some serious damage with Clodsire. We KO Giratina here, which is pretty sweet. Unless they get it out of the active somehow, but I don't think they can at this point. Well, they can put one energy on and then retreat. So they could get it out of the active. And they don't. Okay. We're going to go ahead and pick up the KO. And then after that, we're going to need to make some decisions, right? Paldean Clodsire here. Alolan Muck here. Poison Barb, the active spot. I'm basically not allowing them to Mars us and do anything annoying, right? And I'm going to Mars them. They got like 20 cards in their hand. Venoshock does 120. And now we get to fight with these Darkrai's here. Now we only do 60 with Clodsire. Clodsire is almost definitely going down here. I could put one more energy on it and retreat, but with cards like Cyrus and things like that, I think Clodsire is going to be staying in our active spot and not going anywhere. They've got another Giratina that they're going to power on the bench while they power Darkrai. And I'm going to need to power Alolan Muck here, I would say. I mean, I could look for the other Clodsire, but without it in hand and no Professors in my hand, it's very possible we don't get it. We'll see what this does. Muck and Leaf. Leaf sets up some interesting situations. I could Leaf right now and poison Darkrai. The only problem I have is I don't think something's going to stay in that active spot. Right? I think I'm going to have to power Muck here. Venoshock. I think that Darkrai is not staying there. I think they'll put energy on it and they'll either leaf it or just retreat it or whatever when it's time for them to fight with something else. Mars. It's good Mars, but, you know, we're playing our cards out. Iono. I don't think they're going to hit me here. Muck is good because we can get a status condition onto something. Potion. Interesting potion. I guess they're playing around red, right? It's not a bad idea. Because if I have red, it could be pretty scary. Comms does nothing for us. We power Muck, and we swing again. I could Iono that last turn, but I've already used both my professors. I could wait. The comms isn't useful, so maybe the call is just using it right there. They're gonna chip at me. They could retreat now into Giratina, and they do. Rocky Helm, okay. Rocky Helm threatens us, obviously. Sabrina. If I Sabrina, I can attack. And they're going to give me full health Darkrai. Which I don't think they're going to hit with. They could retreat into Giratina and still have Giratina attack, but we at least get to hit once more with Clodsire, which I think is the way to go. Guess I'll have him ready also, in case I get a Paldean Clodsire and they decide to attack me and get poisoned. They hit me with the Nightmare Aura. They could retreat now. Pokemon Center Lady, okay. Getting them to 110. They go for it. Okay. So Clodsire goes down. They get poisoned. Muck comes in. If I had Paldean Clodsire, I could KO them right here, but I don't. Now they have Cyrus play. That's very unfortunate. I think the play here is to Iono, looking for my Clodsire, just in case, right? I could Barb to get that out of the deck so I don't redraw it. I mean, not much we can do. Drawing 2. Looking for Claude. We get Grimer and we get Clodsire. Okay. Great. We could win on a burn. Confused. Ah, one of the worst ones we could get. Okay. Confusion is one of the absolute worst cards we could get there. Or one of the worst statuses we could get. I think everything else is kind of better. They're going to bring in Giratina and swing on us. We don't have Barb. We could have thrown Barb in, but I wanted a higher likelihood of grabbing Clodsire because I think a Sabrina play is what they were going to go for. GG. GG! Whoa! Clodsire, you did it! Scary. We're going second, which is nice energy-wise. Rough kind of starting hand. Everything's looking very blah, blah, hey, blah, hey, blah. You get it. But no professors, no Pokeball. But we get the energy advantage, which is nice. Decidueye, tough one to play into. You know, they get to chip at anything we decide to put on our bench, so a lot's going to happen in the active spot for us here. They might decide to retreat into Meow to pull more cards. Luckily for us, we're at least going to get to poison one turn and then make some decisions. They could attack whatever we put on the bench with this Pokeball, but I have to play these cards out because just keeping everything in my hand is not going to help out too much. I'm going to attach the Poison Barb here. Just in case they do chip at the bench and then eventually have to attack the active spot. And the Poison Barb does nothing on the bench, right? It's only for the active spot. They're already poisoned, but I'm creating opportunities where, depending on what they attack me with, they might get poisoned again, which would unlock Clodsire's ability to do some real damage. Now, If they can't retreat into Meow, they might just chip Wooper on the bench, which I don't think is a bad play. Attacking the active spot is also possible, but they do decide to retreat. It's probably fair. They're going to cure the poison. Okay, so they're going to get ready to fight in the active spot. I don't hate that play. We have a Comms. Comms doesn't help us here. I am going to poison them. They can't attack me next turn, so, you know. I'll go ahead and put Clodsire down. Well, I might wait one turn. I might wait one turn for Clodsire. Next turn, if they want to attack, they're going to have some real fancy footwork. Yeah, okay. Just powering up. Meow. Meow is going to do some serious damage, and they're no longer poisoned. So, not good for us. Red card. Okay. We could maybe get our professors here, which would be awesome. Comms, Clodsire, professors. Cool. Cool. And Leaf. Okay. I could Leaf right into Clodsire if I needed to. Professors is going to tell me how we decide to play this. We have Clodsire and Cyrus. I'm going to use one Comms for the Clodsire. Could give us Alolan Muck. It gives us a Alolan Grimer. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to poison the active spot and then prep for Clodsire to come in and hit them. I could Leaf it, and I could also just retreat. Now, if they hit me, Grimer still exists. They could chip it away with Rowlet or something like that, but I don't have to evolve it yet. If they Tsareena me, I bring in the other Grimer. Leaf Cape, nice. It's going to get him out of KO range by Clodsire, but they're still going to take a ton of damage. There's definitely a possibility we Leaf here. It depends on what we draw. Iono. I think I Leaf. Even though Rowlet could get me with Skill Dive, I think I still Leaf and keep the energy, just in case that ends up being my Alolan Muck. Wooper to the active. Make it Clodsire. And we won't KO them, but we'll do some serious damage. If they stay in, the poison will get them, outside of them healing, right? And with the energy still on Grimer, we have an opportunity to make that Muck at some point. I might end up using an Iono here soon. They're going to want to retreat. If they retreat into Rowlet, they can KO with Skill Dive, which could be kind of cool, but I do get to Cyrus them. So we could trade 1 points here. No, they're going to fight. Okay. They do a lot of damage to Clodsire, to be fair. It's not a bad idea. Oh. Okay. Well, now... So this is interesting. Now, Meow does go down, and they only get Grimer. Unless they're hitting Clodsire, but I don't think they are. No, okay, so they get Grimer. But... yeah, interesting. This is an interesting play. I don't hate it, but... yeah, I'm going to take the KO with Cyrus, obviously. As far as this Paldean Clodsire, we might end up using it. I'm not sure. But one thing is for sure, that Meow is going down. We both trade 1 points. I've got Iono. I could throw this Clodsire away. We've lost a Barb, so it's going to be hard to get max value out of Clodsire here. They could evolve into Decidueye, hit me for 80, then 100. And I don't know that I could out-damage it. Comms. Okay, so they're looking for Decidueye right now is what I'm guessing. I don't think they're going to look for Meow. I guess they could retreat into Meow to try to pull more cards, but I think they're Comsing for Decidueye Rare Candy. No, they're Comsing for Meow. All right. Well, we talked about one way that could happen. So they're Comsing for Meow. What are they going to do? Chip me? Yeah, okay. I'm going to hit them for a lot. We do have Muck. It's going to be tricky to get Muck in there. But it's not impossible. What do they got left? They go down to 20. Both of ours are 2-pointers. If they have Rare Candy, they go Rare Candy to Decidueye right now, and they hit me for 100. Erica gets them up to 70. They bring in Sprig. Okay, so they're clawing through their deck for their cards right now. Okay. That grabs them somebody they're looking for. I have to assume Paldean Wooper I don't think helps me here. I have to assume my best shot is going to be trying to disrupt their hand right now with Iono. It might help them, but they might already have what they're looking for. They were definitely looking for that Decidueye, right? So I think it's at least something. Now, we gotta hope I didn't give them Decidueye. Even if I did, I should be able to retreat into Muck here, which is a stronger situation than fighting with Clodsire in the active. Dartrix. Okay, great. Dartrix brings us down to 30. 130. Sorry, 120. My mistake. Muck doesn't help us. There is a play that I can make where I retreat. No, I think I just go for it. I can win the game right here, so I think I just go for it. If I get Poison or Burn, we win. I can use Paldean Wooper to play around a Tsareena. Poison or Burn, we win. Nice. Okay. Poison or Burn, we win. Paralyze, Sleep, Confuse, they can evolve out of it, but nice. Another W for the Clodsire Muck. Hey, this is the midway point of the video where I want to know from you, what has been your favorite pairing with the new promo cards? Let me know in the comments. All right, we're going first, and we're starting with Paldean Wooper into a grass deck. A lot of grass decks today. Tons of Decidueye and stuff like that, but actually this is going to be a Tsareena. Could put a Poison Barb on this just in case they attack. I could save my comms for one turn, but we can comms one of these to find a better card. Leaf Cape. Pokeball. Tsareena could be really good for them, but of course it could have some really unfortunate flips. We'll see. We have kind of flips behind the scenes, right, with Alolan Muck, which is interesting. Rowlet. How do they want to play it? If they attack, they can get poisoned, but they know they can get poisoned regardless. So they might just attack. No, they don't. Okay. I have to Pokemon Comms one of my Clodsires here. We don't need both for sure. I could use another basic. We get one. I could just go ahead and there's a few things I could do. I could attack here, but if they Tsareena, which they're kind of saying that they're about to do, if they Tsareena, then Wooper has a 2/3 likelihood of going down, right? However, if I Mars them, maybe that's less likely. We'll see. It's the same amount of cards, but it's just a different situation. If they still Tsareena, there wasn't much we could have done about it. All right. Let's see what they do. Pokeball. Gives them nothing. Professors. Oof. Powering Rowlet. Okay, so they didn't get Tsareena right away. Which is good. We might have stopped them. The way they were playing was as if they had it. Doesn't mean they did, though, of course. Just means that's what it seemed like. Clodsire in the active. That might be Muck on the bench. We'll find out soon. We get one. Now, the nice thing is, outside of a 3-coin Tsareena flip, we're actually pretty good here. Rowlet comes in. That could hit us for 100. 120 if they had red. They have Steenie. They can chip at Grimer here. But if they don't evolve into Decidueye, they go down. So I think they're going to... Oh, never mind. All right. Now the question is, do I Sabrina that Steenie? I don't think so. I think I take the KO right here. I got to take what's in front of me. I think so. We might have bricked them pretty hard when we Mars them there. Now it's all up to Tsareena. If Tsareena hits here, they get poisoned, which will make it a little easier for us to take them down with Muck. But if they hit 3 heads, then they're in really good shape. 2 heads is amazing for us. Let's see. Woo! So scary. So scary. They almost got me. All right. Yeah, I think we bricked him up pretty hard. GG. GG. Starting with Paldean Wooper in the active spot against the Psychic deck. It's Snorlax. Pretty scary. Snorlax Psychic. It could have Comfey, which is really rough into us wanting to inflict status conditions, right? We'll see what we can do. If we can hit Comfey once with a Alolan Muck, it does go down, but if we can't, oh boy. Powering up their Giratina. They've got the Frog, they've got Giratina, they've got Snorlax, they've got all the mean things that you could ever not want to face. Okay. We're going to Professors here. Sabrina and Professors again. I might as well Poison Barb. I think I'm going to get Marsed or red carded with that many cards in my hand, but I can't control it. I can't play anything else. So we're going to do some damage. We're going to Poison. And we're going to hopefully not get red carded. Rocky Helm. Okay. Let's see what they decide to do here. Powering Giratina. Okay. Giratina's just going to be ready to fight next turn. Going to be a little tough to deal with. I could try to Sabrina them here. But I think the play is to fight. Alolan Muck, Poison Barb. Wow. The bricks are intense right now. I can't believe I have nothing. I mean, I can Iono next turn, but wow. That's so many cards. All right. This is going to bring me down to 140. If they have Greninja or red, they just win. I had to assume Professor was going to give me either of my Pokeballs or a basic. Didn't give me anything. I have 9 cards left in the deck. I had 5 outs with that Professors and my draw. Nothing. Pokeball. Froakie. Wow, they didn't get it. Okay, so they didn't get their Greninja because their Greninja wins them the game there. So that's ideal for us. We actually can get one more turn out of this at least. There's our Alolan Grimer. I'm going to have to hit... I think it's probably smart. I could Sabrina And I get a guaranteed KO on either of the frogs. I could hit right now, and I do 80 damage to Giratina. Iono is tricky because now I have the mucks that I need, so I maybe don't Iono here. Tsareena gives me a point, and it makes it one less frog I would have to deal with. But I'd still have to deal with the other one. They're not going to get... I mean, they could get 2 frogs, but I don't know if 2 frogs is going to be a big problem here. I think I'm going to have to, unfortunately, just let Clodsire go down here next turn. And do solid damage. If I didn't have a muck in hand, I would absolutely Iono. So there's the Greninja. That's going to KO the Clodsire here. So it goes, Pokemon Center Lady, nice. It goes Water Shuriken, and then Chaotic Impact. They do poison themselves, which is something. They can retreat, though. Now I have to go into Muck here, and I can't fight yet. I need 1 more energy before I can fight. I do have Mars, but I don't know that Mars can really help me right now. Probably be better for them. I could Tsareena right here to slow them, but I think they're gonna have to retreat, is what I'm guessing, right? They could retreat into Greninja, which I can't KO. If I Iono, I could disrupt their hand a little bit, but I don't think there's too much that they want. I could Mars them, bring them down to 1 card from whatever they've got. I think that's fair. Just thin their hand even more. They're going to have to get Giratina out unless they have a red. A red could win them the game. No, they don't have it. Okay. We go down to 80. Greninja's poisoned. I have Paldean Clodsire. I have to Iono my hand here. I need a basic. Even then. Grimer, Guzma, Paldean Clodsire, Leaf. Okay. Now, there are a few status conditions that would actually be good for me. Paralyzed is the best one. Paralyzed can give us time. It's going to be tricky, though. They could get other Greninja online. They could still Water Shuriken while they're paralyzed, you tricky Greninja. Now the Mist Slash can get us, which is unfortunate. If they have another Greninja ready to go next turn. I don't have to attack here. They go down naturally with the poison. But we got our Cyrus. Holy! Took us a while to get it, but we finally got it. GG. Taking down one of the top decks in the game with the new Grimer. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you, and I'll see y'all next time. We did it!